Audio Jungle.
Good morning, The View. And I'm looking at Pastor because I'm like, did you just say what I think you said? So I received the call from Pastor, and he told me that he wanted me to speak today for 5 minutes on hope. And I realized in that moment that Pastor didn't know me too well to ask me to speak for 5 minutes, but I said, I'm going to be obedient. And then he said, I want you to speak about hope and tie it to a woman in the Bible. But he also said, don't make it preachy. And I said, Pastor really don't know me too well. So I'm going to do my best. And so my prayer to God was that he would give me the words to say, and that he would allow Pastor to forgive me if I don't honor at least one or two of his requests. So y'all bear with me, okay? I'm so happy to be coming before one of my sorors, so I'm just excited about that. But I want to talk to you just a minute about hope. And so when we talk about hope, before I get into what hope means to me and the woman in the Bible that stood out, I have to tell you what hope is not when it comes to a believer. So hope is not just a simple aspiration. It's not a simple goal or wish. I wish I get this job, or I'm hoping that this man will date me. Hope when it comes to a believer is something different. See, as a believer in Christ, when we say we have hope, that means that some of our past experiences, that means we've gone through some things. And in that past experience, in those past situations, there is a God that has brought us out. And so we have past experiences and normally a present situation. In that present situation, we have to rely back on what has happened to know that the God who did it then is able to do it again. Now, it may not look like what we think it's going to be, but we trust and we have faith that no matter what's going on, my God is able. So the verse in the Bible, or the woman that stood out to me in the Bible, it comes from 2 Kings, and it would take me a lot longer to read this than it would for the 3 minutes that I have now. But it's 2 Kings chapter 4, verses 8 through 37. I'm going to ask you to read that in your leisure, but what I'm going to talk to you a little bit about is this woman. This woman's name is not mentioned. And sometimes, just like the Good Samaritan, this woman, her story tells all in her acts and in her deeds. So one of the things that I want to tell you is when this woman in this story is presented to us, she is presented at a time where she was blessed. So when you say that you have hope and you are a believer, there's a few things that God does for us. He blesses us. She was blessed. And when God blesses us as Christians, our job is to bless others. And this woman blessed a man of God. And when she blessed the man of God said, what is it that you need? What is it that you want? And she said, I don't need anything. Now that's how awesome God is that when he blesses you, there's nothing that you need. But God sees, knows all, and he saw the desires of her heart. And the desires of her heart was to have a son. And so God blessed her with this son, even though she didn't ask for it. That's what we call favor. See, as Christians and Christian believers, not only are we blessed, but God also gives us favor. And so what happens, though, and I'm cautioning you, when you say, I'm going to walk this faith and I'm going to go into this relationship with God, when you are blessed and you have favor, there are things that's going to happen, and those things are called trials. Being a Christian ain't easy, brothers and sisters. Right when you have this blessing and you're living your best life and you living in your blessings, trials and tribulations will come. Now, this woman who didn't ask for a son but desired a son is given this son. She's loving on her blessing. And her son dies. Now, many of us, maybe not all of you, I love my children like no other love that I've known. Now, in the midst of this, God has blessed me with this child. God has blessed this woman with this child, and he dies. Some of us would turn our head and cry out and be angry. Some of us would lose hope. But this woman embodied hope because she hoped in the midst of her hurt. Not only did she hope in the midst of her hurt, she didn't go and tell everybody. She didn't put it on Twitter. She didn't put it on Facebook about how God had taken away what his blessings was. As a matter of fact, when her husband asked her, what is wrong? She said, all is well. When she left and she went, she didn't ask anybody else for help. She went to the man of God. She went to the man of God because if God brought you to it, God will bring you through it. And when the people were asking, what is wrong with you? All she said is, all is well. Now that's hope. Because see, her hope had came from this place where this man of God had blessed me when I didn't even ask for it. And if I know he can bless me when I don't ask for it, if I ask, how much more is he able to do? So I say this to say when she got to the man of God and asked him and told him, this is what happened. I didn't ask you for this, but you blessed me with it. God is able to restore. And that is exactly what he did. He restored, because when he restores, when he blesses you and gives you favor and you go through trials and you remember who gave it to you, he is able to restore anything that the devil comes and tries to take away. So let me just say this as I get ready to take my seat. When we talk about hope, hope means that in the midst of your pain, I don't care what you're going through right now, and some of us, the mere fact that we are here shows that we are blessed. Some of us are living and walking in our favor right now, and if it hasn't come, it will come. There will come trials, but you hold on to your faith, and you remember who has blessed you, and you learn how to hope, even in the hurt, and you remember that all is well.